So I'm currently on my way to a cafe to do some homework. But first, I wanted to tell you guys all about the Superman movie I watched last night. I might make two separate videos. One for telling you guys my thoughts on the movie, and another video on kind of addressing the drama and controversy that was going around it, dealing with the Snyder cult. But first, I want to say the cinematography of the movie was great. Oh yeah, by the way, spoilers if you guys don't already know. When we talk about the movie, cinematography was great. People said that the color grading looked goofy, but I thought it was actually the best choice that they could make for this movie. It feels like a comic book, like a Superman comic book just slapped onto the big screen. Like every scene that was shown in the movie, it felt like it was coming out of the pages of a comic book. And I think the movie just had a very great balance of comedy, action, emotional, stuff. Really played in well. And I think, of course, the actors, David Corenswet, really great as a new Superman. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. What's her name? Rachel Brosnahan. I don't know how to say her name. As Lois Lane. Just all the characters in the movie. Great performance. Gotta say, Lex Luthor was a D1 hater for sure. I mean, this guy... we all seen the TikToks and the memes, but this guy in the movie, it's like, oh my gosh. This guy was born to just hate Superman. It was the most hilarious, every time this guy was beating up Superman through with Ultraman and the mech suit, the hammer of Baravia. It was the silliest thing I've seen. It made me laugh. Krypto, cute dog, and then the funniest scene in that movie was when Lex Luthor was getting beat up by Krypto, while he was giving his monologue. It just interrupted. Boom. Krypto just manhandles him. It's the funniest thing. I'm actually gonna watch the Superman movie later again today because it was just that amazing. I do want to say, with James Gunn being the head of kind of leading this new DCU universe, I'm really looking forward to it because he said in this interview at the Superman premiere that each movie will be different in terms of tone and all of that. That is the best choice that they can make. I don't want a Batman movie to kind of feel the same as a Superman movie, obviously. The guy is more gritty and has a bit more of a dark past than Superman, and also I don't want the movies to feel like MCU, where it's after the end of the movie, a post-credit scene leads to the big bad or whatever. I want each movie to kind of be able to stand alone. Obviously there's going to be something big that it all builds up to, but the Superman movie, it stood alone well. And I gotta say that the soundtrack, I really love the music. I do miss the old Zack Snyder OST, because I did enjoy the Zack Snyder film. It's such a shame that we couldn't continue on with the that planned universe. And again, I'll go more into that in another video. But I like the story too. I also loved how they didn't make it where it's a Superman origin. We all know how it goes. Krypton goes, is gone. Superman sent to the Kent family. We all get all of that summed up in the first 20 seconds. And here we are. We're at this point where Superman and Lois Lane are in a relationship. The Kents are pretty old and they all love Superman. This is the young Superman of this movie. And I also want to say that in terms of the amount of characters there were, they all played a great part. The Justice Society, I don't think, not really much. Oh, I mean, pause. Sorry, they did contribute well in with like the whole like Boravia and I don't know the other country's name, like that war. But the person of the Justice Gang, that's what they're called, the Justice Gang. Mr. Terrific was one of the kind of more important characters. I don't really know anything about him, but I thought he was cool. The whole like T-Sphere like fight sequence he had, that whole like one shot when Lois Lane was in his shield, it was goofy and amazing. And I think the only problem I had with this movie, and I wouldn't say really a problem, just kind of a me issue, it all happens pretty quick. There isn't much like room for me to breathe and kind of process what I just saw. But of course, you don't want unnecessary dialogue in the movie. Of course, you don't want any like unimportant stuff. They just, it's like every scene was important. Every scene was needed. If you had to go up to use the bathroom, you would miss something important. But it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be too hard to kind of, add some like breather in it, like sometimes unnecessary dialogue isn't a bad thing. But for a 2-hour and 9-minute movie, they pulled off the story well with the amount of characters they had. Thank God that they didn't emphasize too much on like the monsters part. Like the Kaiju, I thought he was gonna have like a big part in the movie. Turns out it was just Lex Luthor and Superman, going at it with each other. It really felt refreshing to see a DC movie for once, where it just makes sense. It made me excited. It made me feel like a little kid again. I've never particularly grown up with DC, but I've watched a Christopher Reeves Superman movie. I've watched Man of Steel. I grew up with like watching these DC movies, not always having like this like connection to it, but just watching this new movie felt like, oh, like I've been connected with DC for so long, even though I'm really a Marvel fan at heart. But I think after watching this movie, I'm going to give DC Comics a try. I want to learn more about, characters that everyone knows about, but I really don't know much about Wonder Woman or Green Lantern or Flash or all of them. But, this movie really solidified that I want to be part of the DC community. I'm really looking forward to what James Gunn has in store with all these DC projects. And I think just now I just realized I think I might have gone off a bit off tangent, but you guys get the point. Great movie, great. I'm trying to think what else is there for me to say. Went over music, cinematography, color grading. Yeah, the color grading was great. Honestly, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't know, it just all happened so fast. That's why I gotta watch it again, just so that I don't miss anything like crazy. Oh yeah, the cameos. Let's break it down. We saw Supergirl and Peacemaker. So it's confirmed that, this, I don't know which Peacemaker it was, because if you guys see in the season 2 trailer, there's 2 of them. There's one in the DC Extended Universe, the one that is now like, RIP. And the other one's like the DCU's Christopher Smith. The one that's behind the original Peacemaker and like says like, oh, who the F are you? So I don't know which Peacemaker is, but we'll have to see. We saw Maxwell Lord. I don't know anything about him really. Considering I didn't watch the first Wonder Woman movie, nor did I think that movie did any good. I heard it was a garbage movie. Supergirl, I got really pumped to see her, even though I know nothing about her. Just the fact that she's Kal-El's cousin, and the owner of Crypto apparently. So I'm looking forward to seeing that movie next year. It's gonna come out. Yeah, it's gonna come out July 2026. And who else did we see? I was really hoping for a Batman cameo, but then again, I'm also kind of glad I didn't, because I don't want we don't want to set up anything like any cliffhangers that are like, we need to see how well this movie they need to see how well this movie is going to do first. Obviously, we can't just promise them, oh, like, we're going to have Darkseid fight Superman like later or whatever. We have to make it stand alone on its own, while also acknowledging, hey, these other movies are still going to happen. We're getting Peacemaker, we're getting Supergirl. So I'm glad that they didn't really promise us like something crazy. I mean, I think I already just said that like 10 minutes ago, but I think that's pretty much it. Sorry for this weird Walmart wash down review. I'm also driving, so, but that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna watch the movie again in 3 hours, and yeah, and I'll make another video addressing the whole Snyder thing. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter and Reddit recently, and I'm just confused as to why that's happening, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Look forward to more movie reviews, especially Fantastic Four, that will come out in 2 weeks. I will give a review on that. I'm excited, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.